everybody and welcome back to my channel. My name is Amina, and if you are new here, I'd absolutely love it if you could press the bell button, subscribe and stay notified for more videos from me. Today I'm going to be going through the things that you should be doing in the last 2 to 3 months left before your GCSE and A-level exams begin. I did a 4-month countdown. I did one last year as well, so feel free to take a look at those. I'll link them down below. But today I'm going to be going through 2 months. So we've got March left, not even all of March, but 20 days left of March, April, and about half of May, I would say. So not very much time left, but enough time to still make a huge difference. I am going to be doing dedicated videos in the next week or two for English, maths, and for science, purely because those are the core subjects. It is important that you do well on those 3 subjects, maths, English, and science. And the rest of the subjects obviously are your options, and you can focus on those independently. I am going to be posting videos for those 3 subjects and how to specifically target your revision to get to the top grades for those 3 subjects. I also wanted to say that I am a teacher, I am a tutor, I am someone who works in education quite closely. I've worked with government, in the DFE. The advice that I give is not advice given by someone who has no experience in education. This is based on me going through it, my students going through it, my tutees going through it, and knowing what examiners expect and how to do well in the subject. You probably just had some sort of mock exam, PPE exam in your school. You might have the results back for that. If you do, that is the most ideal thing that you can use at the moment, because that will really show you which topics you need to target, which subjects you are a bit weaker at, and just to show you what you should be focusing on more or less in the next coming weeks and months. But if you, for example, didn't do too well on your biology paper or on your English lit paper, then now you know, actually, I need to read that text again. I need to go through the themes again. I need to go through the formulas again, the equations again, whatever it is, that tells you what parts of each subject you need to focus on. You have that test in front of you, so you can see I made a mistake every time the question was about circles, and just highlight that as a subject that you want to focus on, and focus on it over the next coming weeks. At this point, you should be doing exam papers as revision. You shouldn't be going through textbook questions or questions in your book or just random questions here or there. You should be doing exam questions specific to your exam board. If you're doing Edexcel, you should be doing Edexcel questions. It's very easy to find them, by the way. It's not just teachers that have access. If you just type Edexcel, GCSE maths or A-level maths 9 to 1 past papers, you will have all of them there that you can download for free with the answers. You do not have to wait for someone to give that to you, and that is the most important thing. You need to be active. Nice thing to do to change things up a bit is to go from the back to the front. I tend to sometimes always tell my students to go from the back to the front, because we always go from the front to the back and we never really go past question 20. So it's nice to go from the back to the front, because the back is where you get a lot less practice. The last questions is where you're doing a lot less practice, and also by the time you get to the back, you're probably quite tired from doing the questions at the front. And this is really important for active recall. You've learned all that information, and now you need to apply it into practice. So onto questions, onto essay questions, onto exam questions. It's scientifically proven to be the most effective way to revise, to actually apply what you've learnt onto questions, not simply looking at flashcards and walking away. The third thing is to condense the information into bullet points. I'll talk about it a lot more in the next video that I make for preparing for English in particular. But think about how to condense all of those into bullet points, just to make it fit onto one flashcard. And then when you come to revise, you have that all there. So when you're standing in the morning, the day before the exam or on the exam, and you're just looking at the flashcards, you can't look at essays. That doesn't make sense. It makes a lot more sense to look at flashcards that has romance on the top, the quotes that you would like to use, the terms, the effects that the author uses, how it links, and just flick through that really quickly before you go into the exam hall. What you should also be doing at the moment is compiling a list of definitions, formula, equations that you can write down and just stick it on your fridge or stick it on your bedroom wall or wherever, and ask someone to quickly test you. So while you're standing in the kitchen, your mum's getting your dinner ready or your lunch ready, you can ask her, "Mum, can you quickly ask me what the definitions of the top 5 words are?" and you might have animal cell there, plant cell, mitochondria, and an organelle, for example, and they can all be there, and then she can quickly ask you, and you need to make sure that you can say those definitions exactly as they're written. Again, really important. That takes 5 minutes. You'll memorize it quickly, you'll remember it because you'll associate it with standing in the kitchen, and it's a much more fun and easier way to learn. And it also means that your mum will probably test you at times when you're like, oh, I don't want to do it now, but she'll say, no, quickly, 5 minutes, and you'll get that done. And it's embedding learning into everything that you do, and that's the most important thing at this stage, trying to make sure that everywhere you look there's some sort of information that you can absorb. You should also have a revision timetable. I mean, this should have been done already, but if you haven't, or even if you have, you might want to look at it again and decide to change things up based on your mock exam results. If you don't have a schedule to go by, how are you supposed to know how long to spend on things, how often to go back to certain subjects? Don't forget, you've got maths, English, science, option subjects, a language, probably other things that you might be doing. And it's really important, and it's a good practice and habit for you for university to have a routine and a schedule. So it's important to get into the habit of being able to allocate times to break, for lunch, to do your social activities, to relax, to spend time with family, to go to the gym, to go out for a walk, but also make sure that you've got time to actually study, because that is the priority right now for the next 2 months. Let's be honest, that is your priority. That should be what you're doing as much as possible for the next 2 months at least. Get into good sleeping habits and good sleeping routines. Again, this is something I mentioned in every single one of the videos that I've done in the past. Get into good habits where you are waking up at a good time, even if you don't have school, even if it's on a weekend, if it's in a half term, if you've got study leave, you should be waking up at the same time that you wake up for school. There's no reason why you should sleep until midday and then get up. If you're waking up for school at 7 a.m, still stick to that routine. Firstly, it means that you can spend the morning being productive, and this may mean that your other family members are still asleep, the house is a lot more quiet, your friends are probably still sleeping, so you've got that time to really focus without any distractions. Secondly, don't forget that your exams are not going to be in the afternoon. You might have a 9 a.m. exam, you might have a 1 p.m. exam. So you need to be aware that you should be able to still wake up at 9 a.m. If you've got study leave and you're waking up at 11 o'clock every day, the one day you have to wake up for your exam at night, one day you have to get to school for your exam at 9 a.m. or even earlier, you will struggle. And you do not want that to happen. So stick to your school routine, stick to waking up early, and continue that until you finish your exams. Start to use productivity apps or apps that help you with focus. There's a technique called the Pomodoro technique. Essentially, it's a short period of focus and then a really short break, and then again focus, a short break, focus, and a short break. I'll find an app that I recommend and I'll leave it down below, but actually you don't even need an app. You can just time yourself and do 20 or 25 minutes of focused, dedicated learning without touching your phone, without touching anything, and then 5 minutes of break, and repeating that for 2 hours if you would like. And research shows that we can only focus and really absorb information for a short amount of time. Lessons shouldn't be an hour long. They should only be 20 minutes, 25 minutes if we want to maximize learning. And the same with revision as well. You shouldn't be revising for 2 hours straight. 20 minutes, 25 minutes in one go, in one sitting is more than enough. Then a short 5-minute break, not more than that, back to 20 minutes. 5-minute break, back to 20 minutes, and repeating that cycle again and again. The Easter holidays are coming up in about a month's time. Yep, just about 3-4 weeks time. You have 2 weeks off, and that is probably the most precious 2 weeks you will have this academic year. It's so precious. It's just before your exams and you're by yourself. There will be a lot of classes that your teachers are holding during that time, so ask them and schedule that into your timetable as well, just so you know, right, in the morning I'm doing maths, when I come home I don't have to do more maths, I can do something else. But take them seriously, sign up to the classes, and like I said, that is the most precious 2 weeks that you're gonna have in the next 2 months or so. I don't want to scare you guys, but we don't actually know what's going to be happening in the next 2 months or so. Of course, you all know about coronavirus, and you do know that We don't actually know what the situation is going to be regarding exams and regarding how things are going to go. You may not be in school anymore, you may have to revise from home independently. So just take everything seriously. If your teachers give you booklets to take home, take them home, use them, keep them, don't throw them away. You never know, you might be left all on your own, which of course won't be the ideal situation, and you'll never be on your own. I'll be here also to help you guys out if that does end up happening. You should have completed all the work for the subject, so really it's up to you to be independent and to revise and just take things seriously. Listen to your teachers. If they say sign up to this website or check your emails, make sure this work is because they're getting ready and preparing for if the worst happens. Don't be that person that doesn't do things, and then when you do end up at home for a month before your exam, you can't log on to things, you can't access work. Don't be that person. So let me know what you are doing to prepare for your GCSE exams or your A-level exams, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.